Are you gonna say hello, privilege? Say hello, wait, wait. Say hello, world. Oh my God. Wait, wait. Are you gonna say hello? Say hello, YouTube world. So we're going for a morning walk. Are you gonna say hello? No, not yet. Maybe later. Hello and welcome back to my channel. I made a video, a few days ago about condemning Will Smith behavior. And it may seem like I'm defending Chris Rock behavior. That is absolutely far from the truth. I am not defending Chris Rock behavior. However, there's absolutely nothing that will constitute anyone to actually put their hands on someone else. There's nothing that a grown man could not talk out than put their hand on some. Will Smith violates Chris Rock in every single way possible. Will Smith, condemning Will Smith behavior is not exactly a cheer for Chris Rock. Good morning. Good. However, when you as a grown man put your hands on someone else, and you as a grown man could not control your behavior, there's something serious wrong with that. And not only is there something serious wrong with that, there's also something seriously wrong with your mental well-being, period. Now, Will Smith got up out of his seat. His wife allowed him to get up out of his seat, went on stage to attack, and I'll call it attack because that's exactly what it is, to attack Chris Rock. Now, no, Will Smith behavior was that of a coward. Will Smith behavior was that of someone that has zero control. Now, when he got up, this is why it is actually, Jada Pinkett behavior could be described as something as a narcissistic behavior, because at the end of the day, it was Will Smith night. You won, or you actually pretty much knew that you were going to win the Oscar for Best Actor, which is something that has not, considering how long the Oscars have been around, it's something, you're the 5th person, I believe, to win it in 40 years or period. So for you to recklessly display that behavior on the night that should have been your night, not only did you take away from yourself, your family, your performance, but you also took away from the very people that you did the movie over. You did it, Serena Williams, Richard Williams, Venus Williams, all those 3 people, Will, you took money out of their pocket because simply, and FYI, it's like the Super Bowl. People that perform, that great big Super Bowl performance that people do every year, people that perform at the Super Bowl, all these artists, first of all, the halftime show is just as important as the play itself. And those major artists that you see perform at the halftime show, guess what? They're not getting paid. They did not get paid. They have never get it in dime. But their payment is in the hope that after the performance, their CD selling will increase. And it normally have, actually. If you notice, most of the performers that have performed during the halftime Super Bowl, their CD performance went up. Their ratings went up. If they were selling 100 records, now they're selling 200 records. And that's kind of what the same thing with, when an Oscar is won for a movie or whatever, people normally go back. They normally, oh, I've never heard of this movie. I've never watched this movie. Let me watch it. It's my dog. See if you can see him. I've never heard of this movie. Let me watch it. And that way there'll be more sales or more money into the pocket of everyone that involved in the movie. Now, that night, absolutely no one will remember the movie. They will remember Will Smith and his performance, and that's a performance that he did on stage at the Oscar. I'm sorry, I'm like watching my dog to make sure that he's not going where he's not supposed to go. No one will remember the performance. However, what they will remember is the performance at the Oscar that Will Smith did to Chris Rock. No one is going to remember that Will Smith won for the movie Sir Richard. No one is going to even remember Will Smith's best performance in the Oscar. They won't even remember that he won an Oscar. What they'll remember is what he did to Chris Rock, the slap, the violation that he did to Chris Rock. When you actually and as I explained, Jada Pinkett behavior could be saying that of a narcissist, because when you allow, the night belongs to your husband. The night belongs to Will Smith. Now, when you let your husband, because his reaction was due to your reaction based on what Chris Rock have said, when you allowed your husband to actually get up out of his seat, something that you could have easily tap him on the shoulder, tap him on the knee and said, we'll do it later, or we'll talk to him later. But you allowed him to get up there on stage and slap Chris Rock. And you knew that he was not going up there to give Chris Rock a kiss on the cheek. You knew he was going up there to be violent or confrontational. Either. You knew he was not going up there for a friendly talk. But then she allowed him to do that. And now he's apologizing 24 hours, 48 hours later. Will Smith's apology is not sincere. It is far from sincere. The only reason why Will Smith is apologizing for his behavior is because of the backlash that happened after, because he thought he was a man. He thought he would be a man. And it did not exactly work out that way. And another FYI, beside the fact that people at the Super Bowl do not get paid for their performance, it's based on the fact that they will get record sales increase after their performance. In Philadelphia, the only stadium that had, I actually don't think they have it anymore, the only stadium that had a jail built into it was Philadelphia. Now, is Will Smith from Philadelphia? I do believe he's from West Philadelphia. Not only that, but there's a new premiere of a series that came out exactly based on the series that made Will Smith famous, Welcome to Bel-Air, of a very talented young actor. Now, Will Smith behavior, what do you think will happen with that talented young actor and all the cast of that movie that worked so hard? Do you actually think the ratings will increase, or do you think that ratings will dip? Now, was it fair? I think in life we are humans, we do react. However, it's kind of like, regardless of what commercial airline that you're on, it takes two. There's two. There's a pilot and a co-pilot, because guess what? The risk is too much for one person to bear. The risk is too much to leave it into one person's hand, which is why you have a co-pilot. Whenever you have a partner in life, whenever you're married, your wife or your significant other should be your co-pilot. It's like your yin and yang. When one person is out of balance, and the other person should be in balance. It was completely up to Jada to stop Will Smith from how he acted towards Chris Rock. And how he acted was completely based on how Jada reacted, because at first he was laughing. He actually found it funny. And I guess I must be living under a rock or something, but he comparing Jada to G.I. Jane, I actually don't see anything wrong with that. G.I. Jane was played by Demi Moore. It was, you bald your head. Demi Moore looked fabulous in bald head. And Jada, you actually don't look bad in bald head either. So I don't see the reason why you acted the way you acted and commented. I don't see why you acted or take offense to what Chris Rock have said. And again, this is why it is extremely important in life, whenever you're choosing a partner, to make sure you choose the right one, because the right partner can make you and the right partner can break you. Now, it might be feasible, regardless of the loss that Will Smith may lose, it might be feasible to probably say goodbye to your marriage, because whenever you're in an environment that is not serving you well, you might as well cut your loss and call it a day, because your mental well-being is much more important than staying in a relationship that you're not happy in, or staying in an environment that you're not happy in. Your environment says a lot about you. Your environment make or break you. And, as far as I'm concerned, whenever Jada Pinkett came on her Red Table Talk, even on talk show, and expose the fact that she had an affair with her son, friend, for a year under Will Smith's nose. Not only that, but she also exposed the details about their sexual life. Details about their bedroom secret, details that should have never been said in public. If the public want to speculate, fine, but do not give them a reason. Do not give them a reason. And it's funny because, like I said, whenever you're with someone, make sure it's someone that can elevate you. Oh my God. When Kevin Hart left his wife, a lot of people were, oh my God, they condone that man in so many different ways. The derogatory term that was used to describe that man is because he reached Hollywood, is because he's thinking that he's bigger than who he is, why he left his wife. And Kevin Hart started at the bottom. He met his wife in school. Now he's trying to elevate himself, and which he have done a pretty good job. And he probably pick up someone, he chose someone that can go the journey with him as far as elevating himself. Now, I have seen and heard Kevin Hart ex-wife, and let's just say she could not do the journey of elevation with him. When he cheated on his wife, or I think he did cheat it, supposedly did cheat it, he came on national TV and he apologized to her. You have yet to hear his wife. You have yet to hear his wife came on national TV and condone his behavior. You have not even heard a peep out of his wife. She have said nothing about the situation so far. Would that be classified with someone in class? Yes. Jada Pinkett could actually learn something from it. So you've never heard Kevin Hart's wife said nothing about the affair. She has not opened her mouth. She has not given the view. She has said nothing. Whenever you have issues at home in the bedroom, or issues at home period, that's where it needs to stay. And Jada Pinkett has been in Hollywood far too long to know that there's certain things that will live with you forever. When you come and you expose your husband on a national stadium, it's going to remain with people forever. Some things do not go away. Something stays forever. And so by you coming on Red Table Talk shows, exposing your husband, exposing what happened in your bedroom, that's something that should have never, ever, ever happened. Will Smith have his son? It's something that he would never dream of, not even think twice of putting his hands on his son, much as put his hands in his son's face. If, let's say there was The Rock, Shaquille O'Neal, or someone that Will Smith would challenge or fight back, he would never even as much as attempt to put his hands on that person, ever. But because Chris Rock would not fight back, Chris Rock would resist, that's why he did it. So what does that make him? He makes him a coward. It makes Will Smith a coward. Not only that, but somewhat of a pit bull, because your behavior is very much was unpredictable. And it did show that you were unpredictable. You have zero control over yourself. You have zero control over your emotion. And you have zero control how you act and react to someone that pretty much were just mounting up, just words.
And that's why you know you're ready for the work train woman like you be. So now that man tell us if you have to tell a man to do what and I'm gonna feel like you.
Hello, good morning. The Oscar has been known to be racist, because there is absolutely no reason for the Oscar to be around as long as it has for Will Smith to be the 5th person to win for Best Actor award in a leading role. Absolutely. The black man that produced the Oscar this year was a black man, Will Packer. Guess what, Will Smith? You take away his shine, you take away his night as well, because you were just thinking about you were being selfish. And sometimes they say you attract what you are. Maybe you yourself are just a narcissist too, because only people that are narcissists thinks about themselves and no one else. The fact that you were representing him, not just yourself, you're representing a black person at the Oscar that produced it. You should have thought about that man before you... Morning. You should have thought about that man before you act like a madman, march on stage. I still cannot grasp the fact that a grown man went on stage, lose control that way, and put your hand in someone's face. You violated that person. Not only that, but Chris Rock have daughters. He have teenage daughters. The internet is a brutal place, especially for kids. What do you think is going to happen to his teenage daughters whenever... I can't even watch the video, because every single turn you turn, every media outlet, every social media outlet, Not only do they have the slap, but they have the sound effect, which makes it even more cringe-worthy. I am utterly disgusted that a grown man would even act that way. Not only act that way, but you weren't. What were you defending, Will? Defending words? Can words fight back? Can words damage? Can words physically make you ill? I am just, and the fact that someone would even defend your behavior, because I heard one actress will say no more other than, you are what you are, defending that you're defending your wife. You weren't defending your wife. What you did was insult yourself, and what you did was embarrass yourself and embarrass your wife along the way and your family. And not only that, you embarrass every single black actor and actresses that try to hold their head up high. It's been so long that black people try to fit in, especially with the Oscar, because we weren't considered. So here you are, ruin that night for every single person. You ruin it for Will Packer, that produces that Oscar, the first black man to produce it. You ruin it for you ruin it for Wanda Sykes, one of the hosts. You ruin it for all Regina Hall, another one of the hosts. You ruin it for every single one of those people that produces the Oscar. And for what? Which is why it is extremely important in life. In life, you choose someone, because the right person or the wrong person can financially ruin you. I have a friend that, or I should say I know someone that he makes about $200,000 a year. His wife probably makes 50 or 60, if that much. And when it comes to tax, a lot of people blame the rich and say, oh, they're trying to avoid tax or they're doing this. No, the rich, what the rich is trying to do, they're trying to find loophole. Not only do they try to find loophole. Ah! No! Is it a boy or a girl? Ah! They might fight. No! No! They don't get along. No. As I was saying before, I was rudely interrupted by another dog. He makes about $200,000 a year. His wife makes, like I said, about 40 or no, actually about maybe 60,000, if that much. Now, again, when it comes to the rich, you cannot blame the rich for saying that they're trying to cheat the system or, try not to pay tax. That might be true, but for the majority of the bulk, they try to find loopholes, and the loopholes that they try to find is illegal loopholes. Like, they try to find a way to pay less in tax, which is something that we all need to learn by. Now, whenever you're paying tax, especially in the US, the more claim you have, or the more dependent you have, is the less tax you pay. Now, I'm just giving a ballpark figure. I'm just throwing out numbers. These are not exact numbers. They have 2 kids. She's claiming both of them on her tax. Dumb move. Dumb. Keep in mind that he's the head of the household, which means he pays for every single bill that there is. The mortgage, everything. It's coming out of him, because that's what a man do, right? A man is supposed to provide and protect. With her income, she might be, by claiming those 2 kids, with her 2 incomes, she might be coming home with maybe, I don't know, maybe, let's say $4,000, $5,000 in tax return. He might be coming home claiming, with his salary, he might be coming home claiming those 2 kids with maybe 10 to 15. You do the math. Who should be claiming those kids? But she's too selfish, too financially dumb to even realize that it would benefit the husband more to claim those kids. And that's why it is very important, whenever you have someone in your life, to make sure that it's someone that is not someone that is just going to be blindly spending, don't know anything about finance. Because guess what? You don't have to go to school to learn about finance. It's called you willing to learn. It's kind of like if you have 2 persons that raised in the ghetto, one person is a doctor. They're both from the environment, but one has ambition, one has drive, and one go after it. You could just, common sense, intelligence. You don't have to go to school to gain intelligence, period. You can learn anything by the library or even reading. You have to want to. So whenever you have someone in your life, even if you're a billionaire, guess what? Even billionaires get broke. If you're going to keep giving, and this person is not, your significant other is not trying to find ways for you to spend out less, then eventually is either both of you going to have animosity for each other because your treatment of that person is going to be different, or you're not going to end up leaving, because the biggest part of divorce, one of the biggest reason and issues that people have in marriage life is finance. You have to find ways to control your finance, and your other significant other have to be on the same page with you. It is important whenever you're choosing a partner in life, whenever you're choosing someone, you're not just going to choose someone that get up every single day and they look great on the street, or, nails are well manicured, makeup is done to the nine. You want someone with more substance than that. Like, you need someone that, you need a yin to your yang. You don't need someone that's going to continue taking from you, because if you're being stupid, if you're being dumb in a relationship, if you're not trying to conserve what your husband have, you're like a bucket with a hole in it that you put water in and the water cannot stay. That you'll be that water that keep going out to your husband's finance. So again, it is vitally important to choose someone, not just someone with class, but someone with substance. Because again, I go back to Kevin Hart's wife. You have never heard a peep out of her about the incident. She's never talked about it. She's never bragged about it. She's never take away the manpower that her man have. She's never make him less than a man to come and talk about the incident. And guess what? Today, it appears that the relationship is more solid. So again, it is vital that you think twice and choose wisely of the person that you have in a relationship. Because at the end of the day, Jada, as far as I can see, may not be such a great fit for Will. Because at the end of the day, if you allow your husband to do what he did at that stage, considering that it was his night, that was being very selfish and narcissistic at you. Because at the end of the day, no one is going to remember Will, his performance. No one is going to remember what he won for. No one is going to remember the Oscar that he won. What they're going to remember is the vulgar act, the violent move that he did to Chris Rock. That's what he's going to be known for. That's what he's going to... Why does people keep blowing their horn? Like, why? I absolutely hate when if you're passing, if you're on the street, please do not blow your horn at someone. If you want to say hi, just say hi. Oh my God, that annoys me so much. I find it to be extremely rude. But maybe that's just me. Morning. No one, I should have got up and walked earlier because I just keep getting interrupted. Again, no one is going to remember Will Smith for his performance. And not only will they not remember him for his performance, but I think it was very selfish of Will Smith to did what he did, because he did not think about the repercussion, or neither did his wife apparently, because at the end of the day, there's always repercussion for someone's action. And the repercussion is you possibly take money out of the production company that produced that movie, Venus Williams, Serena Williams, and their father, Richard Williams, who actually do condemn your behavior as well. Because I cannot imagine anyone. It's kind of like a thief that you could tell him that there's another thief. He'd be like, yeah, I don't be a thief. So anyone that condone you and your behavior are just like you. Which is why maybe Tiffany Haddish, that's why you're condoning that's why you're celebrating and saying, oh yeah, he defended his wife. Because guess what? You attract what you are. And I mean, Tiffany Haddish is probably claiming Jada Pinkett as a friend, but I don't think she's claiming Tiffany Haddish as a friend. So sometimes it's better to just shush. Sometimes it's just better to just not say anything. If it doesn't involve you, stay out of it, period. So, Will Smith, to say that I'm disappointed in your behavior is putting it mildly. To say that I'm disappointed is an understatement. Your behavior was reckless. It shows that of a man that has zero control over yourself. And not only that, but it also shows that you don't know how to control your temper or yourself. Your behavior is that of a madman, to put it mildly. You have zero control of yourself. There was actually, in the very city that you're from, there was a public transportation bus driver, and we all know the hardest part of anyone's job is dealing with people, period. Now, this guy was a he was a public transportation bus driver. And if you're when you're driving bus, especially in certain neighborhood, dealing with certain people, it's challenging, to say the least. He's retired after about 30 years. Not one bad letter. And when they asked, how did he manage not to have a bad letter? His response was he doesn't take anything personal. No, we're all human. We lose control. However, whenever you have more to lose, then you invest more. Will Smith, you should have invested more to avoid what happened on the Oscar stage on Sunday. If you need to get away or seek help to deal with the fact that you can't handle words, then that's something that you should have done. You probably should have possible get out of Hollywood. It's okay to get out of Hollywood. You work there, you don't have to live there. If that's better for your mental health, get out of the environment that is a hazard for your health. Because mental health is no joke, it is serious. And it seems like every second you're on YouTube giving motivational speech and doing this, and that could be indirectly you probably saying that this is my issue and I need help, because there's absolutely no reason for you to act or should have acted the way you acted on that night with Chris Rock. So this is not a cheering for Chris Rock, because at the end of the day, comedians make jokes, and sometimes these jokes can be very insensitive. Is it right? No. However, as I stated in my video earlier, you should have went to Chris Rock and said, man to man, I don't appreciate you making all these jokes about my wife, and I highly doubt this man will continue. I highly doubt this man will continue to make the jokes that he make. So, but no, you keep and you keep, as a grown man, you keep harboring resentment. That's something of a little boy. That's something of a coward. Someone that cannot go to someone and express yourself and said XYZ and keep harboring resentment is something that a coward and a boy would do, which is something to be said about you. So you should have went to Chris Rock and said, I don't appreciate what you did. Could you please stop talking about making jokes on my wife? This is not funny. And the fact that Jada Pinkett used alopecia as an excuse, yeah, you may have alopecia, but that's not the reason why he slapped. You use alopecia as a way to gain sympathy. You have alopecia, but guess what, Jada? There's people with alopecia that are in worse position than you. You have bald your head more than one time, numerous times throughout your life. So this is not like, oh my God, you've bald head and you've never had bald head before, and all of a sudden you don't know what you're going to do, if you're going to work, whatever. No. So you using alopecia is just to gain sympathy, and quite frankly, it didn't work for you. Is it working somewhat? Somewhat, because now people are talking about alopecia. However, your husband overrides that with his violent attack on Chris Rock. So the fact that I'm condemning Will behavior is not me cheering for Chris Rock or saying Chris Rock was right. It's not even a matter of right or wrong, because unless I must be living under a rock, unless my intelligence level is at a 0, I truly did not, and still do not see anything wrong with the comment that he made. When people talk, you have to learn to control yourself, and you have to learn how not to react to give them the power, because what you did, you gave more than just your power away, my friend. You gave away your dignity, you gave away your pride, you gave away your worth. You pretty much gave your career away as well. Because at the end of the day, I'm sure you're behind closed door wondering, will this person hire me for this movie? You may work again, but there's some people that might be leery to say, yep, because of what he did, this is the punishment. Because again, you took away from the first black man that produces the Oscar, which was unfair for him. So again, I hope you're happy with your behavior. Privilege, can you say bye? Say, until next time, my friends, we'll see you later. Let's see. Can you say bye? Can you say bye? So that's all I have to say for this morning. I'll see you later in my next video. Bye-bye.